In the meantime, suspended Rivers State Governor Siminalayi Fubara denied allegations leveled against him by a former head of service of the state, George Nwaeke, and is asking Nigerians to disregard them. Among the accusations Nwaeke leveled against Fubara was that of conniving with militants to blow up oil pipelines in the state amid the political crisis rocking Rivers. But Fubara, in a statement he signed personally early on Saturday, described Nwaeke's comments as laughable. The governor said that Nwaeke has been compromised and whatever he is saying is only aimed at fulfilling his promise to those who may have paid or coerced him to lie. To discuss this development in Rivers State, we are joined by a rights lawyer, Henry Ekine. Mr. Ekine, thank you so much for coming around.
Thank you, Lekon, for having me. It's my pleasure.
Yeah, so what do you make of the videos and the weighty allegations by the former head of the Rivers State Civil Service against Fubara?
For me, again, I thought we have come to a point where there have been too many concerns by legitimate, reasonable, and responsible indigents and residents in Rivers State. But when I saw those videos, both the video that the former head of service, Dr. George, reading a piece and clearly being directed to read from a written text, and then I later saw a video of his wife, a very terrified wife, lamenting about the whereabouts of her husband unknown to her. And then the third video that you're showing right now on your screen, I think for me it came again another disturbing moment. But what has come clearly to me is that it does appear that those who are orchestrating a rather non-existent crisis in Rivers State are beginning to unfold. I have some fundamental rhetoric questions here. Dr. George was in Port Harcourt as the head of service and just recently resigned. And I think that all the security agencies in this country have their offices in Rivers State. He never considered to go to the Commissioner of Police to make any report that he's probably purporting to want to go make, but now the Inspector General of Police. The 6th Division, the headquarters of the 6th Division of the Nigerian Army will have a general officer commanding. He never thought to go in there. The State Security Services has an office in Port Harcourt with the state director. He never went there. So certain questions will be asked. People are not all unreasonable. What and why did he go to Abuja, where he claimed that he's in Abuja to report himself or to present himself before security agencies? Over what? To the best of my knowledge, I'm not aware that Dr. George, who had just resigned his office as former head of service, has any invitation by any of the security agencies to come clarify any issue. I'm not even sure that he said that. He didn't say whatever the purpose he was going to go to the security agencies to make any report or to present himself. This is suspicious. And then again, especially the video that has been in circulation, if he was to grant a press interview, was it only to a single television station? Well, is his choice. And again, in a hotel room, is his choice as well. But this, if I put it in context with the stories that are here in Rivers State, the allegation of a former commissioner in Rivers State being his friend and then inviting him to Abuja. And then, of course, that former commissioner is an ally to the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, currently at the moment.
Okay.
Henry Obi, I know very well, from Abuja local government area, former executive director of finance and administration in the NDDC, and then also one of those commissioners under Fubara's administration that were, if you like, say, imposed on him, and then also resigned, and is a clear ally to the Federal Capital Territory Minister. It's happening in Abuja just a few days after the resignation of George. All of these we put in clear permutation what is really going on.
All right, Henry, permit me to come in this way. I mean, Fubara was accused of the destruction of the state assembly building, and earlier on you said that Nwaeke was forced to read that particular statement on TV. But then don't you think that Nwaeke, looking at that statement, he has some sort of sufficient legal evidence to back up his claims?
Yeah, I think perhaps until the governor of Rivers State approaches the court, that we would also expect to see what clear evidence that George has. But at the moment, let me tell you, Lekon, George's statements are clearly statements that are highly likely to be hearsay. I am not sure he said that he was in a meeting with the governor with some supposed militants discussing, then he should be invited, discussing a purported plan to blow up valuable infrastructure and assets of the federal government. If George is saying someone told him, then it's hearsay. We are waiting the day he will appear before the court. But again, let us also consider the reaction of the governor, who has said clearly that these were false statements, fabricated, and probably foisted on George, whom he had known and worked with, by some persons suspected to be instigating or inciting George to say what he's saying. And that is not far from the fact where someone was saying, read from the text I have prepared for you. But whatever it is, I think that the coming days will unfold the realities of some of these issues in Rivers State. Recall, Lekon, I've been on your platform several times, and I've always said that all of these crises in Rivers State, which for me are non-existent, are orchestrated. It's only unfortunate that the state of Nigeria appears to be in that conspiracy against Rivers State. I mean, the Nigerian state. It took those who wanted the governor ousted from office, not just the Rivers State House of Assembly, and they didn't succeed, but now getting to the presidency and the National Assembly into that conspiracy to unconstitutionally oust the governor of Rivers State from office. And I dare say, Leko, that some will say, oh, he has not been removed. The governor has been removed from office. Suspension is a temporary removal. There can be two aspects of removal, either temporary removal or permanent removal. The governor of Rivers from office and deprived from performing his function, howbeit temporarily, whether you call it suspension, is a removal. And that's the argument that is unconstitutional. The president didn't have that power, and the National Assembly also didn't have that power.
All right, Henry.
Unfortunately, there is a conspiracy against Rivers State by the powers that are prepared to twist even the law and suspend the constitution and do what they are doing to Rivers State.
Henry, you seem to have taken a stand on this matter already. But then let's look at what the law, the legal process should be. I mean, we're talking about unraveling the actual truth as regards all these allegations against Fubara. And of course, the need for investigation. Now, to get down to the real truth, what process should Fubara take, and probably all those vested in this particular situation?
Apparently, I think the first step shouldn't be Fubara. I think a judge who appears to want to purport to be a good citizen of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, performing his civil constitutional responsibility, to bring now an information that he had got since supposedly that a certain Fubara has had a meeting with some persons, including him perhaps, and plan to commit a crime. And he says he wants to go to the security agencies, perhaps to present certain facts to the security agencies. What legally will follow is that the security agencies can commence investigation. But remember, the governor of Rivers State is still the governor of Rivers State and clothed with immunity. He cannot be prosecuted. But I have argued that it can be investigated. The investigations can go on. So that's the first legal approach or process. If the accuser feels that he and those his conspirators feel that there is any prima facie case, they should present them before the security agencies for investigation. Then on the side of Fubara, since Fubara has dissociated himself from such purported meeting with militants or any plan to blow up infrastructure in Rivers State and has said that this is a lie, he has also the window to approach the courts on defamation of his character, which is a civil suit. But again, all of these, I think that the Rivers people too have a role to play. We give the mandate to the governor, and what we're saying is all means possible, the roundabout way to incriminate and blackmail our governor. And the governor of Rivers State remains the governor of Rivers State. This has become a collective fight. There is no more sitting on the fence. Even if I'm a lawyer and then a human rights advocate, there is no more sitting on the fence as a Rivers indigent and resident here. It is clear, and every responsible Nigerian has to join in this fight to redeem and rescue Rivers State. Even the media, the narrative in the media should be such as be investigative. And enough is enough. Otherwise, this will go into another state. It's beginning to brew elsewhere. They are preparing to do the same thing in Bayelsa State. And perhaps there's even a snippet of it in Edo State. So anywhere the opposition is or anybody speaking against this conspiracy, they want to go on a target. Don't forget, just yesterday, the Federal Capital Territory Minister had said he was going to make sure, set fire, and indeed make it impossible for the governor of Rivers State to have a smooth run in the state. Publicly, the media carried that. Nobody has investigated him. It didn't mean anything to the state. It didn't mean anything to the security agencies. Little in my closet.
Okay, Henry.
To remind the Nigerian state and security agencies of this kind of threat. It's reasonable, as a matter of fact. And nobody said anything.
All right. Thank you so much, Henry Ekine, for sharing these legal perspectives with us on the news. Appreciate that.